Hello, everyone, and welcome to Real Estate Right Now. We talk about real estate matters that matter to you. My name is Jay Izzo, and we are live here from Linda Craft Team Realtors in Raleigh, North Carolina, part of the Greater Research Trial Park. And today's show is a show that we have never done before. It is a show on moving. And I have with me today Jill Merritt, who's the CEO of John's Moving and Storage. Is it Moving and Storage, correct?
Yes, correct.
So you do both moves, and you can also store some stuff for people, right? You have a heated and cooled facility
Yes.
as well?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So a lot of people, when they buy homes, they sell homes, right? They have to move.
Yeah.
They just do. They've got to go somewhere, right?
Right.
So let's talk about first the local move. What are some of the challenges that you see as a mover when it comes to just a local move?
Well, a lot of the time people don't know exactly what they're looking for a moving company.
Mhm.
Do they need help with packing of the boxes? They don't really understand,
Mhm.
all the that goes into just a simple local move. So it's just, talking with the customers, making sure we know exactly what they need and making sure they understand what type of move they're getting.
Okay. I think one of the challenges we've moved several times within the city of
Mhm.
Raleigh, right? And I don't know if it's a challenge or one of the worst things is to pack up the kitchen.
Right.
I hate it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
First of all, these are paws; they're not hands. These things, and the things that in a kitchen
Right.
are extremely breakable.
Oh, yeah.
So, do you have a solution for that? Do you guys do that, or do you have do you help people do that? How do you go about
Yeah.
that part of it?
We do offer full packing at John's.
Mhm.
And if you don't know what you're doing, if you pack your dishes the wrong way, it'll break. If your boxes aren't
Mm.
full, if you have a lot of extra room in them, the box gets squished
Mhm.
and the dishes can break.
Mhm.
So it's definitely, if you know what you're doing, it's great to pack your own stuff. If you don't,
Mhm.
it's better to leave that to us to take care of it. That way nothing gets broken.
What do you find for you, for John's moving? What do you guys find is the most challenging aspect of the move for people who do a local move? What's the biggest challenge that you guys run into where you go, okay, we need to be prepared for this because this could happen?
Yeah, sometimes, people say they're going to pack themselves.
Mhm.
We get out there, they're not ready.
Yeah.
And, we're not prepared for the move. If we're packing, we usually pack on a day, then we do the move the next day. So we have plenty of time. So when we get out there, if stuff's not the way it should be,
Mhm.
if they're not organized, if they have stuff all over, sometimes it's hard to get around homes. So that's one of the biggest obstacles that we run into.
So, we work closings, we have a closing date, right? And everybody wants to move in on that date,
Right.
right? And they want to get there. And I'm sure
Right.
this has happened to you where, okay, we're closing. You guys are still working on getting things out of the old house and they're wanting to get everything into the new house. What do you recommend people do? If they know their closing has come up, what do you like people to do? What's your recommendation to them before a move?
Well, what's easiest, because a lot of the times if your closing gets pushed back or it doesn't
Mm.
happen, we like to do like load you up the day before you're supposed to be out, the day that you close, and then maybe unload you the next day. That way, if your closing gets pushed back till 5 o'clock in the
Mm.
evening, or you're waiting for keys or something,
Mhm.
that way we're not wasting your spot on our calendar for that day.
Right,
And, we might not have availability the next day.
right.
Yeah.
I think it's so interesting we having moved ourselves, um, that we end up finding things that we'd forgotten about somewhere in the house as you're packing up,
Hmm.
right? And I'm sure you have run across this too, where how often do you get, what do you want us to do with this?
Yeah, a lot of the times, a lot of times you forget about the crawl space under the house,
Right, right,
or something in the attic.
right.
So when we do our walkthrough, we make sure that we have everything. And then if we get to a place and they don't have room for it, we can dispose of it
Oh,
for them. Or we can put it in their garage for them.
Wow. So you actually will do some disposal if they ask
Yes.
for it too.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, that's pretty cool. So it's John's moving, storage, and disposal. If you want, we can
Yeah,
we include that? I
absolutely.
mean, I know the owners are here in studio, so I mean, I don't know if they will approve of that, but maybe we can include.
Yeah, we definitely try to make moving stressful on people.
Yeah,
We get it. We've been in the industry
right.
for, I've been doing my job for 8 years.
Yeah,
So we understand.
right.
And it's important for us just to put people at ease. So if we
Yeah.
have to dispose of something for somebody, it's not a problem.
Let's talk about items that are difficult. For instance, I have a grand piano, right? Beautiful grand piano, and that sometimes it can require a unique set of moving, I guess, movers or moving circumstances. How does John's recommend that you deal with like something like a grand piano or something that has that kind of value or care? What do you guys do with things like that?
Well, if it's extremely valuable, we have a high dollar inventory, which that would need to be listed on there.
Mm,
You would also need to get full valuation, which would cover
okay,
if anything were to happen to that to the
right.
grand piano. And we move most all grand pianos. Some of them are a little bit too large for us,
Right.
and at that point, we would recommend maybe another specialized piano company to move it.
Yeah, because there are specialized people who literally that's all they do
That's all they do.
is
Yes.
move pianos.
Hmm.
That's it. They
Yeah.
don't do anything else.
Right.
But I know you guys do. I know up to a certain size, you guys will do. Uh,
Yeah, we do move baby grand pianos,
right.
and there's some of them that are just a little too big for
Yeah.
us to move. For like we use a piano board to put the
Yeah.
pianos on. So if it's too big and it's something that if the estimator's out there and she's like this is a little too big, she might recommend them to use like a piano mover.
Ooh, you just brought up the word estimator.
Mhm.
Let's talk about the estimator.
Yes.
What's the job of the estimator, and what does she do?
Well, she goes out. She can do, ever since COVID, we have options now. So she's able to come out, walk through your house with you. She'll look in your cabinets to see, some people have a lot of stuff in their
Mm,
kitchen, some people have a little bit, but she'll get a feel of what we're actually moving. She writes up an estimate and sends it out.
mhm.
She also does virtual appointments.
Mm,
And, she can just call you and do a FaceTime and you walk through your house and she can tell you to stop and ask questions about different pieces that you have in your home. So she's very flexible on, some people don't want you in their homes anymore. Some people
right.
are like, please come out.
Right. What's our estimator's name? What's her name?
Her name is Mary Williams.
Mary.
Mhm.
So Mary. So hey, shout out to Mary out there. You know what? Good for you.
Yeah.
Mary seems invaluable then.
She is a very valuable person.
I mean, because I mean, to be able to do it virtually
Mhm.
and right, I mean, that's kind of a talent
Yeah.
there. But
Yeah.
what a cool service. And I get it that came out of COVID that kind of added to your service, right? So it's John's moving, storage, removal, and virtual estimation, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we just keep adding names to
Right.
John's moving is what we
Yeah.
need to
We
do.
do everything.
I
We
I
literally will.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that that's a virtual piece that people have an option to use
Mhm.
if they want to as well. Let's talk a little bit about the long distance move,
Mhm.
right? What are some of the challenges that come up with a long distance move that people should be aware of?
Um, I mean, it's the same pretty much with a
Mhm,
local move, just making sure you're prepared for us to
mhm,
come, making sure your closing dates because when we plan a long distance move, we are trying to calculate our drive time,
mhm,
how long it's going to take us to drive there. We want to get unloaded,
mhm,
for the customers because they're moving cross country.
mhm,
So just planning it out
mhm.
in advance and just making sure we're ready to go.
Yeah, so this is the part I think I was trying to get at, and I could have said the question so much better for you, and that was the timing, the time that it takes, because you're not going to travel with furniture and items from a home at the same speed and pace as I might do in my Jeep.
Right. Absolutely. So we always, yeah, we can't keep up with you. But yeah, and we're only allowed to drive, certain hours per day. Once we reach those
Oh,
miles, we have to pull over and get a hotel room. So,
Gotcha.
and obviously we don't. So that's part of the planning is that you got to plan it. Yeah, it takes us longer to get there,
Right.
and so that's how being prepared. The customer being
Right.
prepared. They know when they're closing. We work together on
Right.
getting them into the house as soon as possible.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you this because I just don't know. So maybe you can help me. Let's say they have an extra vehicle. Can you guys tow those, or they have to get another service if they have more than too many vehicles?
Yeah, we typically don't tow
Okay.
them,
Okay.
but we work with other companies
Okay.
where we can have them, we'll do all the work for them. We get everything
Okay.
organized for pickup and delivery.
Okay. So if they are somebody who has you have a group of vendors that you work with closely that can help them move those vehicles,
Yes.
especially some people have multiple luxury vehicles, and
Right.
I've seen this where they've literally packed them into like a semi, it looks like, right? Roll them in there.
Oh yeah, and we could do that. We usually just have 26-foot box trucks.
Right.
If we had a semi, we could pull it right up in there
Right.
too, but we don't use a semi.
Right. Got it.
Yeah.
So, what's the biggest move that you've ever been a part of?
It was a crazy move. We moved somebody from a very small house and they had a lot of stuff. And we moved them to the mountains. And it was just, they had so much stuff. We had so many trucks going, and you wouldn't think that a small house would have all that stuff. So sometimes people can have a lot of stuff and,
It's amazing.
take you by surprise.
Yeah, no, it's amazing how much stuff we accumulate, right?
Especially when you've been in a house for like 20, 25
Right.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think, I think that's the thing that we've noticed every time we've moved to another house is that how did we accumulate all this stuff? Right. And I think we underestimated. I know we have on several occasions. We've underestimated how much stuff we think we have.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm gotta believe that we're not alone, that there's a lot of people that you run across that have underestimated how much stuff
Yeah,
they
well, they're like, "Where'd all this stuff come from?" Well, you had it in your attic, you had it in your garage, in your closet. So yeah, it can pile up and be a lot more than what everybody anticipates.
right. So then this comes down to preparation as, being better prepared as a person who's about to move, right?
Right.
We just have to be better prepared. Do you do a checklist for people to say, okay, uh, here's how you should be getting prepared right now before we get to how do you handle that?
Yeah, we give everybody, it's called a moving 101, and it just breaks down like, how to
Mm,
prepare for your move, how things should be boxed up,
mm,
to be ready when we get there. So yeah, we provide materials for that. We also provide a move confirmation,
mm.
which just has general information on your move, like pictures and mirrors and, helpful little tips before we get there to make sure they're ready.
Yeah, I think the more I think about moves that we've made, and they've all been within the city, as I've said before, the city limits. As I think about them, it's where we've gotten in the most trouble is the last minute stuff, and I'm sure that just happens. You find that happens probably quite a bit.
Oh yeah. A lot of times people forget about stuff.
Yeah.
And when we come out, we bring extra packing materials
Okay.
just in case I forgot about that mirror. I forgot about that
Right. Right.
TV.
Right. Right.
So
Okay.
we always have extra stuff. And if there's something that the guys need, we can run it out to them.
Right.
But typically we're always bring a little extra just in case.
Did you ever need to bring an extra truck?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Sometimes there's those jobs that it just teeters where you don't know if it's going to fit on one truck.
Right. Right. Right.
If they got a lot of large furniture,
Right.
but we always, if we ever are in doubt, we bring a second truck.
Okay, so moving 101, and I haven't looked at moving 101, but it sounds like we have this comprehensive list of things to think about and do. And I've looked at your blog, by the way.
Okay.
Your blog has been great.
Okay.
I love your
Good.
blog on John's blog, by
Good.
the way. It was fun. It was great reading. And I want to get to moving with kids because that seems to be a challenge. Maybe not so much in the local move, but you correct me if I'm wrong in that. But in a long distance move, because smaller children, like I do. I mean, mine is, ours are grown and gone.
Yeah.
But when they were small, there were certain things that were precious to them.
Yes.
Talk about what you should consider when moving with, small children, what you need to consider maybe going forward.
Yeah. And when if we're there packing up stuff and they have those special stuffed animals and they see us packing them in a
Mm,
box or whatever, maybe it's best that one of the spouses stay at the home, maybe the other spouse takes the kid somewhere else,
mm,
or just have take them to daycare or whatever for the day. But yeah, I mean, it's fine if they're there. But sometimes a lot of the little kids, they start running around, and
mhm,
sometimes but we definitely try to work with them, and maybe not have them there on pack day or when we're
mhm.
we're packing up their bedrooms so they don't get upset.
Yeah, well, and here's the thing. I think we were all little once,
Right.
right? And we all wanted what we wanted when we wanted it when we were little, right?
Right.
As adults, we still do. It's just that we're able to keep it in,
Right.
right? As children, they can't do that. When you're moving, I mean, have you found for children, I'm talking about here, maybe making sure that, okay, they have some things that they take with them, but then when they get to the location, maybe the last box you put on is theirs so that when they get there, they could pull that stuff off and already be in their
Oh
toys.
yeah, yeah. We definitely, like, when we're loading up the truck, if there's something
Mhm,
that we know that these people need
mhm,
as soon as we get to their location,
okay,
we put that at the back of the truck.
mm,
That way when we get there, hey, we got this for you, then everybody feels a little
got
bit
it,
better.
got it. So, let's talk about truck organization. So, I'm certain that there is an organization to it, and is that something that, the estimator does is as part of her job, is estimating, what things you need to take off the truck first, or how do you guys plan that?
So no, we load the trucks. Like if there's something specific that you want,
Mm,
to be on taken off the truck first, we
mhm,
definitely do that. But we usually, you put in furniture, and then in the little holes you put in boxes.
mm,
So there is, a method of doing that.
mhm,
And if there's something specific that the customer
right,
does want, we do put that at the end of the truck. But typically we just load the truck,
okay.
furniture, and then, like,
So it would be better for the customer or consumer to say to you, "Hey, I need these to come off first."
yes,
So
yes.
so that conversation would be best for you if you guys could have that conversation up front.
Yeah, yeah, and when the estimator is out there, she talks with the customers. If the
Mm,
customers, say, we need this, this is important,
mm,
we put down notes so the guys know when they're going out there, hey, this piece is very important, handle it with, because you have antiques out there,
sure.
stuff that's been in people's families for a long time.
Yeah.
So, we always put down special notes for the guys to prepare them when they go out.
Okay, so we've talked about the move part, but we haven't talked about the moving in part.
Mhm.
What challenges are there moving in?
Well, a lot of the times your stuff doesn't always fit. It fit in the
Mm,
old house, it doesn't fit in the new house. So sometimes, the customers, we get there and they're like, "Can you put this here?" It doesn't fit. So we have to kind of try different places for it, move it around a few times. So that would definitely be, something that, not everything fits in the new house.
so you almost become a decorator too.
Kind of.
So John's moving storage, decoration, destruction, and estimation. It's the list gets longer.
Yeah, so
Like,
you obviously, when you're moving in
right,
your living room, you gotta put down the rug first. So we try to keep the rugs back,
right,
more towards the back of the truck, because those gotta go down first, then your furniture and boxes come in.
right.
Yeah.
And then you're trying to make things fit.
Yes.
And which I don't think we kind of think we know, but we don't know
No.
until we get there,
No.
do we?
No.
That's it's such a hard thing because I know for us, there's been times where they're just the furniture just didn't fit, and
Right.
we had to ditch the furniture. Or how about this one? I'm sure this has happened. They get there and the furniture's too small for the room.
All the time, yeah. I mean, I don't think people think about,
Right,
this our living room's a 12 by 12, but the
right,
new living room's 16 by
right,
16, so you have all this extra space.
right.
Yeah.
It
But I mean, we do the best we can when we go out there. We try to make everybody happy with putting stuff where they want it
right.
and moving it around for them.
Is there a specific challenge that's different from moving people in than moving them out that you guys run across that you go, okay, this is kind of one of our biggest challenges when we're doing the move in piece?
I wouldn't say it's one versus the other. I
Okay.
mean, sometimes you have difficulty times getting pieces out. They might build them
Mm,
in the room and then trying to get them out, they didn't go in built.
right.
So, sometimes we have to figure out different ways, taking off doors, maybe disassembling the piece if it's possible.
Didn't think about that because sometimes, right,
They build it
they
inside the room,
right,
yeah.
right, right, or they changed the doorway or something like that, or they
Right.
built the wall that wasn't
Something's
there.
changed.
Something's changed
Yes.
that hasn't happened before. Oh, that's really important for people to know. I've seen this. I've seen this happen more than once. I'm sure, just like you have, where people have furniture that have just all of a sudden it just didn't fit. Well, we got it in there. Well, yeah, but you remember, honey, we changed this, before.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that happens a lot. When you are moving people in to uh, their new place and you finally get everything set up, what happens then for you guys?
So once, before we're ready to leave, I mean, once we get everything in place for the
Yeah.
for our customers, we walk around and we just say, we're getting ready to leave. Are all the boxes where you want it? Is all the furniture where
Mhm.
you want it? We set the beds up. Whatever we disassembled at origin, we
Mm.
will reassemble when we get you to destination. So we just make sure the customer's happy before we leave.
Mm.
And then they sign a little form, hey, we're
Mm.
happy, everything's where it needs to be. And then we just leave.
Well, it's interesting because I think it's a big piece that you guys do is because it's that you just don't unload it and go,
No.
right? I mean,
No.
there's this kind of this, not just a double check, there's almost a triple check,
Yeah.
of are you sure that we've got everything where you need it to be? Are you sure you're on your own? Because this is an emotional time for these folks, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's the
It's
largest
stressful.
it's the largest personal purchase that anyone ever makes is purchasing a home.
Right.
So, and then you're leaving an old home, which you probably have memories in,
Right.
right? So, I mean,
Yeah.
it's pretty emotional. How do you? I mean, you got to know that going in. So, how do you prepare your people for that?
Well, especially people leaving a home that have been in that home for, 20,
Mm,
30 years. Like, yeah, they're sad. And our guys they're very like funny. They try to make,
mm,
light of the situation. So, or if it comes to the point where, maybe just be a little bit more quiet,
mm,
so we definitely care about the customers
yeah.
and try to make things a little bit easier on them.
Well, believe it or not, we have done our time,
Oh, that
right?
was
And
fast.
it goes really, really
Yeah.
fast, doesn't it? And so, I want to give you an opportunity to tell hi world, Jill
Okay.
world. Uh, I would like you to tell them how they can get a hold of John's Moving Company in every way possible. So let them know how can they reach you?
Okay, there are several ways you can reach us. We have a website, johnsmoving.com. You can go on there and fill out an online request, and then we call you. And if we can't reach you, we send you out an email. You can call into the office.
Mhm.
There's several ways. We mail out flyers too, just to let you know we have moving capabilities, storage, whatever you're looking for. But those are the ways you can reach out and touch base with
So
us.
give them the website.
John's Moving and Storage.
.com.
Yes.com.
Okay. And give them a phone number they can call.
Our phone number is 919-255-1330.
Okay. Now, here's the thing about TV and radio it says that you're supposed to do it more than once. So, what's that phone number again?
919-255-1330.
See, that's the thing. That's the thing about being in media, right? You have to say it because people could be in their kitchen, right? And they're like, oh, what was that phone number? What was that phone number again?
Oh, yeah.
Well-
You always should repeat it. I agree.
Oh, what was it again?
919-255-1330.
You've been awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for spending some time with me. Stay with me. Folks, it's the show. You know what I say to you? You know what? You had a lot of choices. You chose us. Thank you so much for doing that. Give us a thumbs up on YouTube. And where you're listening to us, give us a positive review and a 5-star review as well, wherever you're at. You know what? Thank you again. And as I say to you all over the world, you know what that is? Ciao, every